Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Sean. So today I wanted to make a video on retargeting inside Unreal Engine 5, but in the case of using AutoRigPro and a custom character, I had such a huge issue with trying to find tutorials and trying to find stuff that actually works. But this works for Unreal Engine 5.5 and 5.6. The new updated way of doing retargeting is a bit confusing. And I will try my best to explain it, and I'll try and make this very short. So this is just for people who know what all the stuff is. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing, as just to keep this video as quick as possible, but for things that are really important I will explain what they are. So say you have your character ready inside Blender, you used AutoRigPro, you've done your weight painting, you're ready to go, right? So you just select all the mesh pieces that you need. Mine are all separate because I'm using UDIMs. Just for the way I've got it set up. So select your mesh, and then the final piece you want to select is your armature here. You want to go File, Export, and then AutoRigPro FBX. You can copy my settings here. I'm not going to explain what these do. Maybe in another video I will do that, but just copy all of these settings, okay? So this is rig, and then for animations, leave them blank unless you have animations, and then for miscellaneous, untick tangent space, and your smoothing group, change that to face instead of normals. That will get rid of the smoothing group error that is thrown up. That's pretty much it. You can embed textures, but I am using UDIMs, so for the sake of this video we won't talk about that. Okay, that's everything. One other thing is make sure the names are the same, and make sure you have root motion and units at 100. That is just gonna make sure the size and scale and stuff is correct for Unreal, which uses centimeters, where Blender by default uses meters. You can also change that in the scene properties. Okay, let's export. This will take like 10 seconds. It usually gives you a little pop-up when you're done. Alright, okay, so we're done inside Blender. Let's move into Unreal Engine. Okay, so in your content drawer, I've made a new folder for my orc, and I've made 3 for animations, mesh, and textures. I'm just going to import in the mesh folder my orc that I just made. You can import your custom character in here. Alright, you don't need to touch anything on import here. The skeleton will be the AutoRigPro skeleton that we have already made that's attached to our mesh, so you can just import. If we did everything right, it shouldn't throw up any errors. Alright, we're good. Okay, and now this is where it changes from the retargeting system that you've probably known a while ago. So if you're just coming back to Unreal and you're a bit rusty, go to your content folder and just look for ABP. And then we're looking for, this case you can use Mani or Quinn, that's the same. You want to right click and you want to retarget animations, right? So this is where things get tricky and where it's different, right? So it does everything for you automatically now. It's way faster, it's way better, it's great. So source skeletal mesh, SKM Quinn simple. We're going to choose our orc boy as the target skeletal mesh, or your custom character. Leave this checked on. So this is going to make the IK retargeter for us. So we don't need to make, like, you know, a separate IK rig for all our meshes, you know. So that's all we're going to do for this part. Just export retarget assets, and that's going to just generate the retargeter for us, right? So pop that in your animations folder. That's where I'm going to put mine. And there you see I have 2 here. This one's from an earlier one that I did, so I'll delete that. So you should only have 1 here. That's cool. Okay, and then from there you want to go back to Mani, right? So right click again, retarget animations again, and now what we're going to do here is we're going to just untick auto generate retargeter, because we already have one that we just made, and it's going to automatically fill in our target mesh. And now this is where we make the anim classes automatically, as well as the animations. So that's the updated part. The anim classes are generated using this panel here. So select everything, right? And then with shift and select, so select the first one, shift select the bottom, and hold control and untick the ones we don't need. So we don't need Mani because we're using Quinn. We don't need post processing. We do need ABP Quinn, so leave that. Get rid of this one, and the rest you can leave, just tick them all. These are the blend space animations, and these are the normal animations that will be retargeted. And this ABP Quinn is going to generate our anim class, okay? So just export animations, give it a prefix. I'm going to call it orc underscore, and then I'm going to pop this in my animations folder again. And then I'm just going to export that. Don't need to touch anything. Export. Let it do its thing. There we go. We've got all the animations. And you can see here that everything looks pretty good. You can also double check this on the retargeter. So for shits and giggles, let me just type in RTG. Pop in here. So this is the window that we're all used to. Just move the target mesh offset here. And we can just do a preview animation here. You don't need to do this, I'm just showing you what this does. So let's just run forward. So you see it's retargeted already. Everything looks to be pretty good for me. No problems there. So one more with walk. And you see that's looking pretty good, okay? Sometimes you do get an error in here where it's not quite translating properly, and you would create a new retarget pose, but you only do that if you get really weird sort of translations, okay? You don't need to touch that, so just leave it as is. Okay, and we're pretty much done, guys. All we need to do now is go to BP third person character, and it's the same again. So we're just switching out our skeletal mesh here for the orc, but here you see he does look a bit weird here, and this is where most people get confused. They're like, okay, it's not working, and they don't know how to generate the anim class, but it does it automatically for you when you retarget in the way that I just showed you and export those animations. So we can just choose Quinn, and there we go, it's perfect. I'm just going to give him a material here so he looks a bit more interesting. Gonna save, and then when you press play, you have your new character ready to go. All the animations work, all the jumping works. Your camera will go inside your mesh here, but I believe you can fix that with the spring arm. Doesn't affect anything. But that's it, guys. Super easy. Less than 8 minutes, less than 10 minutes, you're good to go. Thank you. See you later.